Thank you very much.
Dr David Clark.
Mr Speaker, yesterday an open letter was presented to MPs on the steps of Parliament, and we saw very quickly in the response of the government just how arrogant and out of touch it has become. And that was personified in the person of Jonathan Coleman, the Minister of Health, who today again ducked and dived and avoided answering questions about the experiences of people with New Zealand's mental health system. He refused to answer questions that were plain by referring back to a previous answer where he said that his target was somebody who had done the compiling of the material and not the actual material itself. But when asked about the specifics of that material, the experience of underfunding in the health system, under-resourcing, staff stretched, people risking being very close to taking their own lives, he was silent. He was silent on those matters, Mr Speaker, and I think that speaks to his inability to wrestle with the issue that New Zealand is facing right now, and that is a 60% increase, in the last decade of people accessing mental health services. And the system is creaking at the seams. The police are being called into wards. Senior nurses are leaving the service of those acute psychiatric units. People in the community are feeling abandoned. That is the world we are living in, and the government does not seem to have a response, and where they do have one, it is flippant. It is to dismiss those who bring the concerns to Parliament as left-wing anti-government activists. That is what the Minister said. He dismissed and diminished the experience of those people by dismissing and diminishing the way in which those experiences were brought to this Parliament for us all to see. And the requests in that report, Mr Speaker, are not unreasonable. They are for an urgent funding increase for mental health. We know this government has underfunded the health sector by $1.7 billion over the last 6 years. And that is a conservative estimate using the Treasury's own figures by independent research agency Infometrics. They discerned that when you look into health inflation and a growing population and an ageing demographic, that just to stand still, the health system would have needed another $1.7 billion over the last 6 years. So in that situation, where mental health is often the poor cousin, its funding has been starved. And we understand that mental health funding has gone up around 28% over that period, while the need has gone up 60%. You don't need to be a mathematician to work out that that is a shortfall and that people will fall through the cracks and lived lives will be hit hard by the inability to cope and the lack of support for those across New Zealand who are facing difficult situations and facing the challenges that come with mental health issues. Mr Speaker, I think we would have also seen a different response if Labor had been in government, because Labor is a party that cares about primary health, cares about people's lived experiences in community and seeks to support people with early intervention at mild to moderate level in the mental health spectrum to make sure that people receive the need early. And that is what we will be doing as a party, and we will soon be announcing ways in which we are going to make that a more real experience, the ways in which fresh thinking can be applied to these issues to make sure that New Zealanders can be confident that their mental health system is able to respond to the need that is out there and that is growing. Mr Speaker, I know that Andrew Little would have done a different thing. If one of his members of his cabinet had criticised the people that delivered the message, he would have pulled him into line. But we have with Bill English someone who has a failure of leadership. He is content to see that thing slide. He's content to let Jonathan Coleman stew in his own juices. He's not providing the leadership required to fix the sector, to address the issues, the independent oversight that's been called for, the additional funding that's been called for, and the review that is urgently needed to make sure that our mental health system is fit for purpose, is there to support the New Zealanders that need it most in their time of need. Labor will be there for those people in a way that this government has never been. And so I would ask members of this House to consider whether in this upcoming budget the government couldn't be a little more generous in supporting those people who need it most in our society, because I think a government is best judged by how it treats the most vulnerable amongst us.
The Honourable Alfred Nara.